Hi guys, welcome to the dragging into another object exercise. So we've already, this is something a few of you guys have asked about, and what we want to do is we want to have something that we're dragging and we want to do something when it enters another object. Yeah. So we've already done a dragging video, so I'm not going to go into the mechanics of how you get something to drag here. I'm just going to talk about what happens when you drag inside a shape. So the first thing you can see here is that we're going to drag into a rectangle. So what I've done is inside the draw function, I have drawn my rectangle that is going to be the bucket that we're going to drop into. Yeah? So the rectangle is in the center, and it's 200 pixels by 200 pixels. So what we want to do is when we click down here, when we're dragging the shape, so when we've got grabbed, our grabbed variable being true, as in we're dragging the shape, we want to test whether the mouse is inside the rectangle. So you guys have done a lot of testing of where the mouse is in comparison to shapes, so it's just reusing that. So what we do is we do it inside the mouse dragged function, inside the if grabbed statement, where we set the shape x and y to the mouse x and y position. So inside that, we are going to test if the mouse is inside the rectangle with our rectangle values that are the same as this rectangle here. And then we're going to, so there we're using that handy mouse is in rectangle function that you guys can use. And if it's inside the rectangle, then we're going to say placed equals true, and otherwise we're going to say that placed equals false. So placed is our variable that we have up here that is going to tell us that we are inside the rectangle, that the mouse is inside the rectangle. Let's print that out. Yeah, you can see I'm just going to print this. So placed is so placed is false while we're dragging around here. It's nothing when we're not dragging, but it's false. We're not inside the rectangle. Hooray, we're inside the rectangle. Okay, so what we're saying here is it's true that the circle is inside the rectangle, but actually what we're saying more accurately is it's true that the mouse is inside the rectangle. That's enough for me and for you guys in this project. I don't want you guys to have to start calculating whether the circle or the shape that you're trying to drag is actually inside here. You could, if you wanted, set a smaller rectangle to test. It would be very simple, like you could, if you set the rectangle that you're testing a bit smaller than the rectangle you've drawn, you will be able to do that, but I'll leave that to you guys if you want to. It's not necessary. I'm happy with this sort of level of accuracy for your projects. So we can see that when we go inside the circle, it's true. I mean, inside the rectangle, it's true. And then if we let go, it's still true because the circle's still inside the rectangle. And then if we move it out, it turns to false, and the circle is outside the rectangle. So now that we've set that variable, we're going to do something based on that variable. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of the rectangle. So if it's placed inside the rectangle, I want the fill to be purple. Otherwise, I'm going to leave the fill at white. Okay, so that's just a simple conditional statement testing the placed variable. If we save that, hey, it's gone purple. Okay. So you could do anything here. You could say that if you drag it in there, you could increment the screen. It's just a matter of deciding what you want to do here. So I'm just going to show you again. You may show some hidden text if the circle is inside the rectangle. If the circle is inside the rectangle, then you're allowed to see this. And then you could make it that you're allowed to see this when you click on it increments the screen. Yeah, you could make that say next. And then you click on it and it does the screen increment function. The other thing I'm just going to do here is I want our circle to just pulse slightly so that we can see that it is something worth clicking on. Yeah, so I want it to pulse like this. So the way that I've done that is we set the diameter of the circle to be the radius times by 2 to start with. And then down here in our pulse circle function, we've also set a variable that says the circle is getting bigger. So this just means the circle is on its outward pulse, and then we're going to change it to false when we want the circle to come back in. Yeah. So we are going to say if the circle's getting bigger, it's on its outward pulse, then we're going to increase the diameter of the circle. Otherwise, we're going to decrease the diameter of the circle. And here we're going to say set our boundaries so that if the diameter gets to 110, I want it to start coming back in. So I want the circle getting bigger to be false. And then if the diameter gets under 90, I want it to start going out. So I want the circle getting bigger to equal true. And then we just run our pulse circle function inside our draw function. And then we just use that variable to size our circle. That's just a little extra there that you guys might want to reuse. You may have a GIF that you've got here that is your dragging shape, but or you may use this pulse function, or you may do something else. But anyway, there it is. Okay, I hope that helps you guys. Oh, the one thing I will mention is that running it out across multiple objects. I know some of you have got like some berries that you want to drag into a bucket. So you might have multiple ones. Watch the multiple dragging shapes video to get your multiple shapes dragging, and then just try and implement this structure into those arrays of values. If you run into trouble, then just ask me and I might do a video on it, but it would be handier if you guys worked it out yourself. All right, thanks very much. Bye.